What's new? Tonight we have guests who are going to talk about different events that are in town. So, who wants to go first?
Matter to me.
Don't matter.
Don't
How
matter
about
to me
you?
either.
Why don't you start off?
Okay. Well, this Saturday, the 28th, we're going to have our first Fly with the Hive Festival. So it'll be from 10 to 6 on Merchant Street. We end up with 43 vendors is what we ended up getting all together. So we'll have a wide variety of stuff. The library is going to actually do a kiddies corner in the backyard of Bricks. And we're going to have basket weaving at one of the historic homes. We're going to have free face painting. I think it's based off of tips, what I've been told. Let's see. We're going to have down at Brock's property down Autobahn's parking lot.
Oh, okay.
We're going to have Sister Cities and then a company that makes homemade pork rinds. They're going to be down there in his parking lot. And Belle is actually going to have her 8th birthday in conjunction with us. So there's going to be a big celebration. She's going to have some giveaways and stuff too going on at the same time. We're going to have a pottery stand next to us where there's going to be a new tenant that's going to be moving into Marzuko's building next to mine.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually going to be a pottery place going in there soon. So he's going to be out there selling his stuff. Then we get a lot of shops. Pretty much all the shops downtown is going to be set up on the sidewalk outside their shop selling stuff.
Is that going to be on Market Street or, on
Just on
Merchant Street?
Yes.
Merchant.
We're going to have snow cones, shake-ups. Felix Valley House is actually going to do rag dolls with the kids.
Wow.
So, we're going to have a wide variety of stuff.
And this is brand new.
Yes, brand new. This will be the first year. Hoping next year we can expand a little bit more. So, we'll see how it goes this year. Like I said, 43 vendors. That's pretty good for our first year, I would say.
I think so.
And you didn't tell us who actually is the sponsor of this.
Well, we have multiple sponsors. R&K Excavating sponsored us. Sarah's Ice Cream, Shelter Insurance, and Autobahns and Danny's.
Oh,
I was thinking that you should tell us the name of your business because you are the ones who are putting this all together.
Yes. My name of the business is Bricks Urban Winery and Market.
There you go.
So we're at 245 Merchant Street. And if you like meads and ciders and wines, you should come check us out.
Are you making mead also? Or not?
I got meads down there. I'm working on a bunch of new stuff lately. So unfortunately, some of the stuff I had from the previous owners, some of that I'm running LO on or running out on.
Oh, okay.
So instead of trying to make a bunch of their stuff again, I'm actually just working on my new stuff. So I got 11 new things I was trying to get done before summer, but it didn't work out that way. I think I got 4 or 5 done so far. So but I'm getting there a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
As our downtown winery, it's really good to see stuff going on there.
Yes. I mean, it helps a lot when you have different functions like that because without having some kind of function, it's hard to get the tourists to come to this town. So,
well, we have lots of things coming up in addition to that, including one that's I think one of our best tourist draws, which is the 4th of July celebration.
Yep, that'll be this Saturday night after Fly with the Hive, and be at Pierre Marquette Park at dark. Did well with donations again this year, so we'll have a good show. This will be the 51st year of it.
That's great.
We did skip the year of COVID. And the year after COVID, we couldn't do it on the 4th because the state hadn't opened up the testing for the pyrotechnicians. So they were short on them, so we moved it to the Saturday before and got such a great response from the community that, they never get to go to it when it's on the 4th because they're doing family stuff or they're camping. So we just been running with it the Saturday before.
Oh, that's
crowds have been good, so.
Do you have music up there also?
The Muni Band plays before.
Cool.
And it starts at dark. Everybody asks what time. Well, I don't know.
Run us through what happens because it's I remember always when my granddaughter was small, we'd go up and there were always kids playing in the area around where it was going to be, and families had set up, and some of them were picnicking. And then the program would start. Is there something besides our band? We have a great band.
No, it's just, we've tried before, and you either hit weather where it don't work, or, you know, a couple of times it was tried, just didn't work. You know, maybe if we could get a lot of people involved and try to do something really big.
But the band is wonderful this year.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, one thing I did want to touch on, because I think people get aggravated at the end. The state fire marshal set the area that I have to shut down as far as traffic goes, which is basically from Bovary Drive down Main Street to the ball field. Once the show is over, we can't open that road back up till 20 minutes after the last shot. And that's if everything went off. I don't know if anybody remembers last year at the end of the show, about half of the grand finale went off a half hour later.
Oh my goodness.
It didn't go off, and they had to rewire it and set it because they can't take the shots back out of the tube. They have to shoot them. So the road has to stay closed until all the shots are done.
So they better find another method of escape.
Out Bovary, you know, and then back Kingsman, and you know, and back into the park, or you know, just
so that'll be all the way over to Riverview then? Riverview to up to Bovary?
No, from Bovary down to Main Street, and Main Street down to the ball fields.
Yeah, that's
would be shut down.
Yeah, that's where.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a whole process on this. You know, the contract's like 36 pages long, covers all the insurance and all the fire marshal stuff and the pyro stuff, and then they have to list every shot that they're going to shoot. And
so if they park in the one ball field down there by it, down at the bottom of the fairgrounds, they'll be stuck in there then.
No, they can go down Main Street.
Oh, I thought you said that was closed.
To the at the ball field.
Oh, at the ball field.
Yeah, you can drive up Main Street and turn into the ball field.
Oh, okay.
About how long does the fireworks show last?
15, 18, 20 minutes, depends. They like to keep it around 18 minutes because at that point you start losing kids' interest. You know, when it gets going too long.
Right.
So.
I really truly remember this as one of the first things that I was impressed by when I moved to St. Genevieve, which was, well, I've been here 50 years, so I saw some of the early ones. I recall thinking how impressive it was that this little town that I'd moved to had this really cool July 4th event, and it's just kept on going.
Yep.
And I think that that's amazing. Who sponsors it? Who has kept it going on over the years?
I think it was about 7 years ago. The chamber always did it up to that point, and they decided they was giving it up. And it came down to like the last week of being able to do it. And so I got a hold of Dina, and I said, well, the kids got to have our work. So I took it over from there, and was in conjunction with the county fair board as my nonprofit. And since they have kind of folded up, the Eagles are my nonprofit.
Okay, well, let's make sure we give credit to the Eagles.
We you know, we have officers and our own banking account and everything.
Yeah. I think probably most people who go think it's a city function.
Yeah.
So it's really good to let people know that, like so many things here in St. Genevieve, it's the community that does it. It's not your tax dollars at work, folks.
That's right. It's all 100% donation.
Yeah. The goodwill of the folks who live here.
Yep.
we asked the fire chief to come this evening because your operation is incredibly safe. I've never heard of anyone having a problem, except maybe kids crying, little bitty ones,
But the boobs.
Yeah. But other than that, it's a very safe way to celebrate the 4th of July. It's not so safe when people decide that they're going to do it on their own, is it?
That's right. For anybody that's not familiar with me, my name's Ken Steiger. I'm the fire chief here in the city of St. Genevieve, soon to be the St. Genevieve Fire Protection District. And we want to thank the community for supporting us on that. I'm here basically to talk about some of the city ordinances and fire safety. First thing, let everybody know is it is against city ordinance to discharge any fireworks within the city limits. You can get a ticket from the city police department when you get caught. So be aware of that. You shouldn't be doing it. The big thing is with fireworks is the safety. Obviously, no children should be using them. And we think of some of the fireworks as being ultra safe, like we all played with sparklers when we were little kids. Sparklers, not many people realize, burn at 1,200 degrees.
Oh.
And if a kid touches that, your skin starts to burn at 125 degrees, and it will burn down to the bone. So you can get severe burns from something as simple as a sparkler. So we don't advocate kids doing any kind of fireworks, and we don't really advocate anybody less than an adult. But if you do have somebody doing something less, then you need to have adult supervision to make sure it's done safely. Some of the other things that we see is, in average year, over 10,000 people nationwide get hurt with fireworks.
Wow.
So, got to really be careful. Some of the common mistakes people do is if they have what they call a dud, doesn't fire off, they'll try to relight it. Never want to do that. The proper way to dispose of fireworks is in a bucket of water after the fact. Every year, it seems like we have a fire or two, brush or trash can fires, where people take the old fireworks and they throw them in, not realizing they would retain heat for a while too. So, best thing to do is throw them in a bucket of water. Duds, don't try to relight them, and put them away safely.
And all of that good advice builds up to the fact that you can get a ticket, folks.
Yes.
You can get a ticket. The police can come to your house.
Yep.
I'm going to take the risk of saying that we have in the past had some city officials who have occasionally violated that particular law, and I hope they got tickets too. But it's dangerous for people to play with them, isn't it?
As a matter of fact, part of the 4th of July celebration, and we're into our what we call our PR section of the year. We're going to be standing by for the fireworks in the park because they are dangerous. So we'll have fire, and we'll also have our EMS there. So in case something does happen, we'll have people on site.
Yeah.
We've got the county fair coming up, so we'll be standing by for demolition derbies and things like that. We've got vacation Bible schools. We're working with people, keep kids cool down for the summer. We've got several things that we're doing, public relations, and the big thing is just getting out in the public, letting them know we're there, and being there to protect and be ready if something does happen.
You mentioned the Fire Protection District.
Yes, ma'am.
And it may be that there are some people who don't really know what that change means for everybody. Would you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, back in April, the voters of our area voted to support a fire protection district. So basically, the only change you're going to see is it gives us a secure system of funding. With being a city fire department, every year we had to compete with other agencies within the city for a limited budget for the city. And we would sell fire tags outside city limits. With becoming a fire protection district, everybody in the entire coverage area is all assessed at a certain rate, and everybody pays their fair share. Instead of having to buy a fire tag, you get your tax assessment, and our budget should go from about $200,000 a year to about $550,000. So there's money that we can set aside for purchases. One of the big reasons why we asked to separate from the city's been great working with us. We have no animosity between us, and they're supporting us fully. But one of the reasons that we had to separate out is we didn't have the funding to buy the necessary equipment like trucks. Right now, we need to be ordering a truck, and the next truck is like $1.5 million.
Wow.
So if we separate out and we get the bigger budget, part of that money can be designated right off the top into a vehicle replacement program. We can start replacing them on a regular basis instead of Well, it should have been replaced last year, and now we have to order one. Because right now, if you order a fire truck, it takes up to 3 years from the time you order to the time you can get it. So if we get started with the fire district now, we put several dollars away each year, then we can have at least a base built up where the city is always struggling, and they didn't have the funding to get that money set aside for vehicle replacement.
Yeah, are you just to the city limit? I know that the fire departments in this county assist each other, and that happens on a regular basis if there's something major going on.
Right. Basically, the work towards becoming a fire protection district started with myself and a couple other fire chiefs in the county looking for what we need to do to make fire service secure in our community. And initially, we tried to get all 7 departments on board with one fire district. But we ran into problems with the people that audit the fire departments as far as their capabilities. A company called ISO, they rate you, and in the city limits, we're a class 4. So we have a good insurance rate. That's what they base homeowners insurance off of. In the county, there's some 8s and 9s. So when we investigated this, if we joined the county, our 4 would have joined the 8s to a median of 6. So that would have been asking the people in the city to have a 2-point increase in their homeowners insurance, which would be potentially 17% homeowners increase. So there's no way we could justify that. So basically what we did is the city coverage area is separate from the county. So the other 6 departments are a county district, and we are the St. Genevieve Fire Protection District. And we not only cover the city, but also the rural area that we used to sell fire tags in. So our borders are set and locked in by the government, and those are the areas. So anybody that falls within our coverage area, or you bought a fire tag from us in the past, you're considered part of the St. Genevieve Fire District.
And are you going to have a fire truck that people can actually get next to and look at up at the celebration?
Yeah, we'll be down there. The only thing you'll have to look at is we'll have to limit how long you can be there because they are setting up fireworks and there's live explosions in the area. So we'll have one truck that'll be fairly close. We can use it in a hurry, and then we'll have 1 or 2 trucks that'll be backed up at the bottom of the hill by the old tennis courts at Matthews and Little Rock Road. So they can come down and visit that. And the firehouse out there is a public building, and people are always welcome to stop by and visit us. If you see somebody there, stop in and say hi, and we can show you the trucks and things.
You can show people why the tower is on that building, because that's a real interesting story.
That's our fire training tower. To get more points for the ISO for that, we get extra points for having a training facility, and that's part of it. We use that for ladder training. We also advance hose lines up steps, like if we were going into a 2nd or 3rd floor. There's actually a hole that's in the center of it that we can lower people down on ropes and pick them back up to simulate a confined space entry. And we have a sprinkler set up on there and a bunch of other different things we use for training purposes.
That's great.
The biggest thing we'd like to say, the biggest thing we'd like to say from the fire department standpoint is we've always had really good support, and we appreciate that support. And we're always there whenever you need us. Call us. We have a Facebook page. You can keep an eye on us. We have a website. Some of that stuff will change a little bit as far as addresses, because when we become a fire district, we need to readdress some of those things. But we keep a pretty active Facebook page, and we keep our website up. So there's always information there.
We need volunteers.
And yes, we always need volunteers. Gary is one of our senior guys.
All right. Okay.
I've been with the fire department for 40 years this year, and they've been 38-ish, 35 years. We just had 2 guys retire a year and a half ago. Between the 2 of them, they had almost 100 years of service. I've got a guy out there right now that's got 45. I got one that's got 43. I've got 40.
Wow.
We've got a lot of guys that have.
And the fact that it's all volunteer, which is really amazing.
I actually became a part-time employee of the city this year. They're actually paying me now for 18 hours a week to do administrative duties to keep things going.
That's good.
But part of that is also was a benefit to the city, because during that time I was writing grants. And since I've been chief, we brought in almost $1 million in grant money from grants I've written.
Oh, how wonderful.
That's grand.
For the city or for the fire department?
That was all for the fire department at the time through the city. Other than myself, everybody's volunteer. We do it basically for nothing. So it takes a commitment, but we have a good group out there, and you don't have to have any experience. We will train you. We have programs that we send people to. We just had 3 that completed Firefighter 1 and 2 certification, which is a state level certification. So if they wanted to, they could actually go someplace and work as a firefighter. Now they've been trained to that level. We try to keep a minimum standard.
How big is the
That's
fire department?
great.
How many members do you have at this?
I have a roster that will have up to 29. Right now, I'm at 26. We could have a couple more. If I could find more than 29, I guarantee I could expand
Yeah.
my roster and take more. But
Okay, tell people if they're interested, if there are any guys and gals
Yes.
out there who would be interested in being a part of the fire department, what do they need to do?
the biggest thing is get an application. We have online capabilities on our website. You can go to our website and do an online application. It gets emailed directly to me, or anytime there's somebody at the firehouse, we have applications in site. My office hours right now are Monday. I work from usually 8 till 6. And then on Wednesdays, I'm usually in there from noon till about 10 o'clock at night, because that's also our maintenance night where we work on things, get things ready and keep everything up to speed.
Yeah.
So applications in person or online.
How many trucks do we have?
Right now, we have 2 pumpers, a ladder truck, a rescue truck, a couple of brush trucks. We got about 12 vehicles out there that we maintain. And we do 99% of the work ourselves. Very seldom do we have to send it somewhere else, because we've got people that have part-time jobs or full-time jobs, and we can use some of their talents to maintain the stuff.
You probably know all of this because you've been here forever. But that's, 40 years. I've been here 40 years, so I'm a newcomer. And one of the things that impressed me most when I moved down here, I think, was the amount of volunteerism that goes on in this community and in the county as well. People who have day jobs, or people who are retired, they're still willing to give their time to things like the fire department and like the celebration for the 4th of July. And I'll bet you have some volunteers working with you too. But certainly the tourism industry has volunteers working in terms of trying to bring people into the community. And I came here from St. Louis, and there are a lot of nice people in St. Louis, and there are a lot of volunteer organizations in St. Louis. But I'd never seen anything like this. Almost everybody you run into belongs to something and is involved in some kind of community or charitable work that benefits all of us. So we thank you.
So do you have more to say?
The only really other thing I was going to let everybody know is over at Bricks, we're actually going to have some raffles come Saturday too. I got some picnic basket, like backpacks that I have
Oh.
there. We're going to make some baskets out of it, and we're going to raffle them off, and all the proceeds that we actually make, we're actually going to use that to go make buy food and take it up to the veterans homeless shelter up in St. Louis.
Oh, how
I'm going to do a
wonderful.
live feed, and we're going to go up there and deliver food to the homeless shelter for the veterans. And
There you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The people in this community are really
That
generous.
is very,
So,
very
Yes,
good.
yeah,
that's
so I'm
great.
I got to work with Overleys in a couple places. I think Bell's going to donate some stuff. We're just going to fill the baskets up, and hopefully we'll have enough people.
You'll have to come back and tell us how that went.
Oh, will do. And I'll have a live feed, like I said, on Facebook. We'll do a live feed of when we take it up there. So
So where is the homeless shelter?
I can't remember. I looked it up once before. I have to look it up again.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
once before, I've always wanted to take pizzas up there. That's always been one of my things. It's like, hey, let's go spend like $200, go buy a whole lot of like hot and readies from Little Caesars or something, and go over there and take them to the homeless shelter for the veterans and stuff, because it's amazing how many homeless veterans we have.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, as it is, we have a lot of veterans that need help too,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Would that be on the grounds up at,
the barracks maybe.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that's where it is exactly or not. I'd have to look again, because I looked it up once before. I know there is one up in
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Well,
So.
I did not know there was one. That's great. Yeah.
Yep.
But besides that, I mean,
It's going to be fun.
yeah, it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of games for the kids.
Yeah.
Working on one of those big boards like you put your face up to.
Oh, yeah.
Take pictures. I got Sandy Shilley. She's been doing a lot of stuff for me, painting things. I dropped it off to her. She's going to paint it up for me with some
Oh, how
bees
neat.
and
Yeah.
have
That's
two
great.
little bees fighting with swords. Hopefully, the way that I explained what I wanted her to see if she could do for me, and
You still have a lot to do.
Oh, I do. I've been working on a tiki bar in the backyard too, on top of everything else.
Do you need to leave us? Because that would be okay.
No,
You have a lot to do.
I'm done for tonight. I already took my shower and everything. I'm going back down to eat.
Okay.
I don't know if they're still around, but the Art Guild had made the things you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what they're exactly
Yeah.
called, but
I don't know what they're called either. But anyway, we had made some, and they used to be down at the Welcome Center.
Yes.
were they?
I don't know if they're still
Yes.
around or not. They may have them in storage. It was French guy, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a child, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good project.
Yeah.
Another example of how
Yeah.
organizations and people in this community try and do things that benefit the community.
Yeah. Okay, so boy, a lot was said in a short amount of time tonight. We can sit here and drive for another another hour, actually.
I do want to
Yeah.
talk about the ferry situation a bit. Okay?
Fine with me.
All right. And I'm going to wake up my little pad here because I made notes about this because I've been a big fan of the ferry ever since I've lived here. And we're really in serious danger of losing the ferry at this point. I think you had said, Gary, that it could happen. How
That's
soon?
what Ron said the other night, that it looked like they had some money.
Yeah. So we could hold out till like the end of the year with what people have been working hard on this. I don't want anybody to think that this is a surprise. This has been a problem for a while. The ferry has been operating for 50-something years, we think, and maybe before that, but this current ferry, and it has been both a tourist attraction, and it's also been a real practical way for businesses and people who work to get from one side of the river to the other. I'd be real interested in knowing how many Mississippi Lime employees cross that bridge in order to get to work, and how many people from this community cross the bridge to go to someplace in Illinois for a job. And the ferry people may know that, but I don't have that information. But what I do know is that losing the ferry would not only be, I think, really bad for all of us here in St. Genevieve, but there are only 11 ferries on the whole Mississippi River, from the head of the Mississippi all the way down to the Gulf. Only 11, and I'd hate to see it go to 10. So the question is, what can people do about it? And there are things that our audience can do about it. There is a petition here at City Hall that is encouraging it's been sponsored by one of our state legislators. I'll look up her name. It's way down here. Senator Terry Bryant. She is working on trying to get the state of Illinois to participate in the funding of the ferry, because obviously they benefit from it as much as we do, since the ferry goes both ways. She is asking people to support a petition which supports what she's trying to do with Governor Pritzker. Missouri puts about $88,000 a year into the ferry to keep it running. And Illinois at this point isn't putting anything in, which seems pretty unfair. Senator Bryant is trying to get $250,000 from the state of Illinois, which would kind of help catch up with a little bit with all of the time that they've not been making a contribution, and it would give us an opportunity to continue working to find stable funding source for it. So what can you do? The petition here at City Hall, and you can also go online to Senator Bryant's website. That's Bryant, Terry with an I, Bryant. And you can sign it on the website. And I got to tell you, it's the easiest thing in the world to do. It takes about a minute and a half once you're on the website to be able to sign the petition. And it's very well worth doing. The ferry benefits tourism because it's something that is unusual. Like I said, 11 of them on the whole river. It benefits general businesses because of people going back and forth. And I think it also says something about this community in terms of our connection with the other side of the river. You know, and there's history there. And history is one of the things that makes St. Genevieve really important. So, with Iris's permission, I'm going to urge everybody who watched the show to figure out a way either to come down to City Hall and sign that petition or to go online to Senator Terry Bryant's website and sign that petition so that our ferry can keep on running.
And that would be wonderful, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is that on Bryant Wolfen's website?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I know it's on Senator Bryant's website.
His last
Terry's
name?
Bryant.
Oh,
Terry Bryant. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One of our female legislators. Yay. We need a few more of those. Everybody on this panel may not agree with me, and neither may you, but I hope all the ladies out there do.
Okay, so you want to give the time and the place and all that again before we close?
It'll be June 28th from 10 to 6 on Merchant Street.
And then I have one on June 27th, which you're involved.
And I have one also.
Okay. Yeah, the art walk is June 27th. We do that the fourth Friday of every month from 6 to 9 p.m. It's going to be hot, but all of the galleries are air conditioned. There are, I think, 6 or 7 galleries who that will be open, including a brand new gallery on North Main Street in the Little Bohemia district that is going to feature the work of Brian Haynes, who is probably Missouri's best known artist nowadays. His work is wonderful. It focuses on Missouri history kinds of things, and it's beautiful stuff. And it's going to be at the Two Rivers Gallery, which will be open for the very first time during Fourth Friday. Silver Sycamore Gallery is going to have Brenda Gilliam work featured, and she's going to be doing a little talk. The St. Genevieve Art Guild will be open, and there are going to be like 100 pieces on display from the Art Guild, I think, there. And as you get down into the center or our end of town, the north end of town, you've got Sam Conlon, who has 2 art spaces on North Main. My art space, Eclectic, will be open and we'll have art and birthday cupcake because I'm going to be 83 in another couple of days. And across the street at Music Art Love, there's going to be live music, and the featured artist is this lady.
And another Jim.
And a doctor, I have his name here.
Yeah, I don't remember what
Somewhere.
his name was.
No.
And he does looks like mostly landscape.
And large
And
paintings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll have a variety of my things.
Yes. Yeah.
And also my art is at QRST, that's the tea shop on Market Street.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, there'll be Angie Dalton will have her shop open, I believe. And are they doing
She
it?
didn't say that she was going to be open.
Oh, well, she may be open. She is also right across from the French Colonial. Are they
Yes.
open? The French Colonial?
Not as far as I know.
Oh.
No, the galleries who contacted me to say that they were going to be open did not include any except the ones that I mentioned.
Okay.
So,
And sometimes there's already in the Lions Club Park, which I don't know if the heat maybe kept it away this time. I don't know. But anyway, there's a lot. And the new ice cream shop is open.
yes.
Their place is really renovated and it's very nice.
And Brick Winery will be open.
And Brick,
We
yep,
will.
she'll be open.
And you used to show people's art. You could start doing that again.
Yeah, I can do that again.
Okay.
I'll have to work on that.
This is a place where deals are made.
Yeah, in my spare time. In the couple hours a week I have.
Yeah,
There you go.
after your festival.
Well, after this festival and before the next,
You're
Yes.
getting ready for the next one. Huh?
as soon as this
Yeah.
one's done, we gotta start the
Yeah.
next.
And I don't know if the Honey Shop, are they having a festival this year in
No,
September?
not that I know of.
Don't know.
From what last I was told, it's been postponed, I think,
Oh,
or something
okay.
like that.
That's a nice festival also.
Yes.
Well, everything we have in town. Now, don't the 4th of July, don't the reenactment have it on
I
3rd
don't know,
Street?
they used to always do something downtown. Bob Mueller would read.
Yeah, on 3rd
I haven't
Street.
heard anything
Yeah.
about that. this
No,
year.
I haven't either.
Well, anyway, it may be, so
Yeah.
check it out on the newspaper and on the St. Genevieve website.
Mhm.
It should be listed.
Yeah.
So, okay, and you guys, want to do over the park about the fireworks? Just remind them where it's
Yep,
at. And,
the Pierre Marquette Park, and we'll shoot it dark.
Excellent. Excellent.
Everybody says, what time? I don't know.
yeah.
It gets dark.
Well, you figure, okay, so June 21st was the longest day of the year.
Right.
So you take what, a minute and a half off every day, and you can kind of figure out by the 28th what it'll be.
Only if you can do math.
And there's other things that vary on that time too. Sometimes the weather will affect it. If it's
Yeah.
Cloudy.
rain potentially coming in, they may start a little early or whatever too. There's other factors that
Yeah.
you be up there before dark and you should be able to see it. And like you said, last year we had someone that didn't go off. So instead of everybody getting up and rushing off as soon as they hear the last one, give it a few minutes. Maybe they'll have a few more shoot off that were not fired off the first time.
And everything that didn't go off last year was a credit for this year. So the
Yeah.
grand finale will be like 1.5 times.
Oh,
Wow.
how neat. Yeah.
That's great. And of course, there's the municipal band. And
The
that's
company's
always-
great to work with.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, a lot of them are firefighters
Yeah.
that volunteer at other places and they come in and they do this as a hobby.
Oh, how cool.
So,
yeah.
That does my shooting is,
And then we should
Firefighter,
plug the
fire
band too.
Yeah.
Thursday
Yes.
nights, they have their band
Thursday
concert.
night.
If it's very, very hot or rainy, they're at PAC. That's the St. John, up at St. John's School in the Performing Arts Building. Very cool in there. The seats are really comfortable. Really nice place. But sitting outside, cool too, in the schoolyard.
Yeah.
And that's at Valley Desert. So, I guess we've covered about everything.
How about telling people if they want to be on this show, how they can get on?
Sure. You want to be on the show, call City Hall, or you can contact Gene or myself, or
Or
Charlie
they'll contact
downstairs.
you.
I think we're going to.
So they'll contact you.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have, at some point, we're probably going to have an email address that people who don't like talking on the telephone can, or who can't catch us on the telephone
Yeah.
can get to us that way.
And I prefer messages. My phone number is 314-808-6797.
And I don't give my phone number out to anybody.
I don't care who's got one. Spam calls don't get answered.
Oh.
They don't get answered.
If I don't know you, I don't answer my
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah. We thank you very much for coming tonight.
Yes,
You're welcome.
all of you,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you for having us.
And yes, anytime you want to come back and talk about anything, just contact
Mhm.
us. We're always open for, and you need to get your sister Kathy to come again. She has the most interesting program. Yeah.
So we're welcome to ideas from everybody, and we hope that I hope that you'll come to the art walk because both of us are involved.
Right.
We're both very involved in that, and all the other great stuff that's happening. St. Genevieve is a really pretty cool place to live.
So we can tell everybody good night.
All right,
Good night.
good night.
Thank you for listening or watching, whichever you're doing right now. Yeah.